Hey guys, Firearms Addict here, and I wanted to share with you a book that's one of my favorites. It's called Live Firing Classic Military Weapons in Color Photographs, and this book is about the machine guns of World War I. The author's name is Robert Bruce, and it was published in 1997 by Windrow and Greene out of London. And the book gives historical, technical, and non-technical information. It actually goes into details on what it was like to actually shoot these machine guns and what it was actually like to be there in the trenches with the soldiers. This book is one of the best I've ever seen on the subject, and I highly recommend it. I will share the ISBN number in the description, and let's take a closer look at it. The book is hardbound and features 10 sections. The first section is an introduction, and this talks about tactics, the development of machine guns, and such. Then we move on to the .08 Maxim, also dubbed the Devil's Paintbrush. Mr. Bruce includes quotes from soldiers who were there. From the Battle of Somme by a soldier named Philip Gibbs, it was the fire of German machine guns which was most terrifying for our men. Again and again the soldiers have told me today that the hard time came when these bullets began to play upon them. A young officer of the Northumberland Fusiliers paid a high tribute to them. They are wonderful men, he said, and work their machine guns until they are bombed to death. In the trenches by Faircourt, they stayed on when all other men had either been killed or wounded, and would neither surrender nor escape. All through the book you'll find things like that. And just amazing photographs, details of the grips, live fire demonstrations, and we'll move on to the next machine gun, which is the MG08-15. Look at these guys in the trench. Just amazing. The book includes diagrams of the machine guns, specifications showing the weight, the manufacturer, barrel length, all things like that. After the MG08-15, we move on to the MP18. Look at this guy. Could you imagine being a British soldier in your trench and having this guy come at you? Even gives details on loading the magazines. This is the snail magazine for the MG08, which can be quite tricky to load. Once we finish with the German machine guns, we move on to British. First example is the Vickers, and again, details. These guys are wearing gas masks. The author included original artwork, original photographs. After the Vickers, we move on to the Lewis gun, and just more of the same. Each one includes the diagram with the specifications. Talks about field stripping each of the firearms. Once we conclude with the British Lewis gun, we move on to the French Hotchkiss. I just love these fins, these cooling fins. Hotchkiss is really, I think, neat. It's slow firing, feeds from a straight stripper clip. I just think these things are amazing. They have brass grips. From there, we look at live firing. They're using an example of some concrete blocks what it will do to them. And you could just imagine what it'll do to human flesh. Once we finish the Hotchkiss, we move on to the Show. More of the same. You can see the open magazine on the Show, which caused some controversy. Here's a close-up of the magazine with the open notches, and he even includes the conversion from hell, which is where, when the U.S. entered World War I, we attempted to take this Show that was originally chambered for 8mm Lebel and convert it to 30-06, which did not work very well. At the end of the book, we have Afterwards, which is about the machine guns developed between the wars. And it is just a fine book, and I highly recommend it. It's just so rare. You don't find many books like this that go into such detail with such quality photography and so much work put into the actual making of the book, with the live firing and everything, and just the trenches and the uniforms, the original uniforms. This is just an outstanding book, and I cannot say enough about it. I hope you liked this video. Please consider commenting and subscribing, and thank you for watching.